Therefore, today when we find that as per the trading rating agencies gradation, none of the Indian institutions find its place among the top 200 world-class universities, naturally, we feel shocked. Yes, there has been a massive expansion of physical infrastructure, particularly at the end of the 11th five-year plan. Right now, when I am speaking before you, there are 59 degree-giving institutions, more than 33,000 colleges, 28.6 million enrollment in the higher education, which is likely to reach 38.6 million at the end of the 12th plan. But not merely physical expansion. We must have the quality expansion. There is no lack of talent, either in the faculty or in the students. Now the infrastructural facilities are being created. What is needed is to put all these factors in a proper, integrated, coordinated manner in which we can get the best results out of our investment in the higher education. Almost 83 years ago, in the early 30s of last century, an Indian scientist got Nobel Prize in Physics while doing his research work and teaching in Calcutta University, Sir C.V. Raman. Long 80 years have passed. Not a single Nobel Prize has been received by any Indian scholars working in Indian universities. Yes, I am fully aware of. 3 Indians, great Indians, received Nobel Prize. Dr. Amartya Sen in economics, Hargobind Khurana, Dr. Chandrasekhar, one in physics, another in chemistry, received Nobel Prize in contemporary period. And they are the products of the Indian universities. Dr. Amartya Sen did his post-graduation from Calcutta University. Dr. Chandrasekhar was the product of Madras University. Hargobind Khurana was the product of Punjab University. Therefore, students have talent. Teachers have talent. What is lacking, perhaps lacking, is undivided attention and certain technicalities which we ignore. Like parrot, I am repeating this observation almost in every convocation. And I am happy to underline that it is reaching in the proper place. And many of the university authorities, they have assured me and they have done in practice, which we shall have the opportunity of reviewing when I am going to call another Vice-Chancellor's conference in February next, which I have converted into an annual feature. I had first one in last year, rather current year, and another I am going to have next year, which will give us the opportunity of reviewing it, what we have done. In every university, every institution, you will find talented teachers, talented students, those teachers who can inspire the mind of students, ignite the mind of students. What is needed? There is no collaborative approach, coordinated and integrated approach to achieve these objectives. I have urged upon the university authorities to create a center of excellence in each university. It is for you to decide which department, which program you can build up into a world-class standard. But it is to be done. At the same time, if we want to be a world power, we claim that we should be a world power. We must have its proper place in the Committee of the Nations. A country of having 1.25 billion, 125 billion people, $1.25 billion people, second largest population of the world, 5,000 years old civilization. We must have our proper place in the international committee. But mere demand or raising slogan is not going to help it. We must prove that we are worthy of having it. That is our value system, our education system. Why the Indian students, brilliant students, will have to go to foreign universities? Why can't we put the gear in the reverse directions? They will come. Many of them are coming from many other countries, especially the developing countries. But still, there is immense potential. Your geographical location, your infrastructures, and the imaginative bold programs which you are initiating, definitely it can be a hub of international studies, scholarship. We are to emphasize on innovation. We are to emphasize on research. We are to emphasize on always updating our knowledge. Knowledge is ever-ending, never-ending. Always we shall have to acquire knowledge. A great sage, Ramakrishna, used to say, we learn as long as we live. Mahatma Gandhi had advised, learn with that bent of mind that you are going to live long. Therefore, there is no end of learning. We can take advantage of the technology which is available to us. Every university is suffering from shortage of faculty. Yes, overnight we cannot create good quality faculties, but surely with the technological device, resorting to knowledge network, we can have the advantage of the great teachers and lecturers of another university to our students. Today's technology has brought that facility to us. Today's economy is going to be based on innovation. Knowledge-based economies, most important criteria is innovation. How emphasis a country is laying on innovation, have a measurement, have an yardstick to measure, and that yardstick is how many patent applications every country files annually. India is far behind Germany, China, USA, and many other developed countries and developing countries. Therefore, we shall have to emphasize on this aspect. The university must prioritize the fields of research that it wishes to undertake. There is scope of conducting innovative research in the Northeast India, a region rich in natural resources and biodiversity. Overexploitation of the natural resources causes environmental degradation and leads to long-run unsustainability. The onus is on you to work on alternative growth models which are sustainable, which are eco-friendly. You must carry out interdisciplinary research on natural resources management. You must conduct research on challenges to heal economy. Conflict between traditional and modern institutions, border trade opportunities, and integration of the Northeast economy with their national and global economies. It is gratifying to note that few departments of Rajiv Gandhi University have received grants for setting up research facilities. I expect this university to conduct relevant research to the benefit of this region and the country as a whole. Dear students, getting a degree which you all richly deserve is only the beginning. After completing university education, you have a higher calling to tend to the task of nation building, which without each one of you collaborating will remain underperformed. Go out with the knowledge that you have the tools necessary to build our nation and take it to the future. Remember that once you step out of your alma mater, life will provide you ample opportunity to learn, gain knowledges from wherever you get. Be humble, be free from fear, be generous in whatever field you are working. Always try to enhance the prestige of your university and country. If you have skill powers and willpower, you can make it happen. I wish you all success in life. Go ahead, Godspeed, and God will be with you, dear students. With these words, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and wish the university, faculty, and all the students passing out and continue very best in their life. Thank you. Jai Hind.